When it comes to Chernobyl disaster, then everybody loves to blame Dyatlov because he was in charge at the night when the accident happened. But actually, he didn't cause the accident because someone before enabled him to cause the accident. And this someone was KGB, the Soviet Secret Service. KGB caused Chernobyl by censoring information. This can be seen very clearly in the Chernobyl series episode where the nuclear scientist is visiting the library. So the accident has already happened and it's really bad, and I understand that it's bad, and she tries to find out how it happened and does her research. She goes to the library where all the sweet books are about this nuclear stuff, and she wants to take a look at several books. But she does not get access to all the information which she wants. Uh, Instead, she got like only one scientific paper, and even it is partly censored. So two very specific pages are not included. And a KGB man really makes the decision in the library to deny her the access to the information. Only later, when she meets Legasov, she finds out what went wrong with the nuclear reactor, because Legasov is the leading nuclear scientist. He's like a big expert on that particular type of reactor, and he had seen these papers and had seen also these two pages of the one paper which the nuclear scientist was using to try to find out what happened.
I've analyzed the data. Toptonov was telling the truth. They shut the reactor down, and then it exploded. I think this article may have the answer. But 2 pages have been removed. You've seen this before?
Please, believe me when I tell you that I had no idea it could cause an explosion. None of us knew.
None of you knew what?
In 1975, at an RBMK reactor at Leningrad, a fuel channel ruptured. The operators pressed AZ5, but instead of the power going down immediately, for a brief moment, it went up.
How is that possible?
Well, this is the very question posed by a colleague of mine named Volkov. He's the one who wrote this article. When an RBMK reactor runs at low power, it's notoriously unstable, prone to swings in reactivity. Under normal circumstances, the control rods can compensate for that.
Under normal circumstances, the Chernobyl staff stalled the reactor during the test. They pulled almost all the control rods out to bring the power back up.
This is what Volkov learned from Leningrad. If the boron control rods are completely withdrawn from the reactor, when they're put back in, the first thing that enters the core isn't boron. It's graphite. The control rods have graphite tips that displace water and steam. So the reactivity doesn't go down, it goes up dramatically. Why on earth would they press that button?
They didn't know.
So we can clearly see that KGB really created this problem in the first place by censoring the information, because if there would have been open scientific debate about the flaws of that particular reactor type, then way earlier the flaws in the design of that reactor could have been fixed with way lower resources than were needed to fix the Chernobyl disaster, with way lower resources. But KGB insisted on censoring the stuff. They even kept censoring it when the whole Chernobyl disaster was already in a very bad shape and costed the Soviet economy massive amounts of resources. KGB really is to blame for Chernobyl disaster, and this is also shown by this particular scene.
Do you know what happened to Volkov, the man whose report you found? They just removed him from his position at the Institute. Sacked for the crime of knowing.
As we just heard, one of the scientists who was already previously raising concerns about the safety of that nuclear reactor type was fired. He was removed because the KGB didn't want people to openly discuss flaws, and that really underlines the fact that KGB caused Chernobyl. Of course, Dyatlov also has his fair share, but his fail and his mistake wouldn't have been so worse if KGB hadn't created the environment which allowed to happen it. If there would have been open science, open access to data, open discussion, then the flaws could have been fixed way before. Thank you for watching.